just adjust some stuff because the video screen itself needs to be adjusted. I can work with that. And there we go. Greetings once again, everyone. I know we've all been here for, what, this would be the second time now? The fourth attempt. Welcome, please everyone, welcome Mr. Toxic Mario.
Yay.
Oh, mercy me. I must start out by saying I am sorry that it has come to this many attempts.
Yeah, that's bad stuff, bad with the bandwidth and all the good stuff that comes with it.
Ooh, I forgot to open a few things. That's what I was forgetting. Let me open my questionnaire and we'll be good.
You gotta get on that then.
This is the one thing I hate about the show is it's always something, and Mr. Ben and I can attest to this. Anyway, I just want to run a few quick things by some people. You remember how last time it was your questions could be asked at any time? Well, we scrapped that idea, so I'm going to be getting the first hour, and your questions will come the second hour. It's just better this way. I'm sorry it has to come to this. But anyway, let us get started, shall we? So, I want to start with my usual questions of the first 5. Please tell me the name you wish us to address by, your job, such as artist or game designer or what have you, in relationship to ponies. Your favorite episode, your favorite character from Generation 4 specifically. Your favorite character, any generation, it doesn't matter, if applicable, I do have to stress that. And your favorite episode.
Okay. Alright, so first off, I'm Toxic Mario. You can address me either as Toxic, TM, or just Toxic Mario. I don't really care. Or just Mario, it doesn't really matter. Now, I am a comic artist on DeviantArt, and I have a Tumblr account. And the Tumblr I don't really use that much. But my DeviantArt is Toxic-Mario, all one word, at DeviantArt.com. My favorite pony, in not just G4, but just any generation, is Pinkie Pie, just because I relate to her so much. And my favorite episode, if you're going non-season 2 finale, it's going to be 0. For whatever reason, I love that episode the most.
Why do you like that episode so much?
I think it just, when I first saw it, it struck a chord really nicely with me. And ever since then, it's just been my favorite episode.
Hey, that's perfectly acceptable. So, I kind of want to start at the beginning and we'll work our way forward. How in the hay did you get involved with ponies?
Alright, basically it goes back to, I would say April 20-ish or something like that, somewhere around late April of 2011. To Stitcher360, who's another artist I know, he's a really, really good artist, and I remember I was going to his live stream, and I just happened to stop on by that night, and he said, dude, there's a crazy cool show that's out right now. Dude, you might want to see this. So he showed me this video. It was a Night of Pony video. And he watched it, and I was still so skeptical for but the next month, even he kept showing me, I was like, oh, dude, you gotta try the show, it's amazing. And I was so skeptical, and finally in May, I got curious after he showed it to me for the 11th time or something, it felt like. And I wanted to see what was up with the show, and all of a sudden I tuned in and blasted through the entire first 26 episodes of season 1 in about 2 nights, I would say. So I did about 14 one night, and I think I did 12 the next day. It was a lot. It was pretty crazy.
Why go through such a marathon like that? I mean, why not pace yourself a little bit?
Because that's what happens when I get into a new show like that. I just really, if it's good enough where I can't stop watching it, then it's like, I have to keep going. That's kind of what I'm in right now. That's kind of a funk that I was in last night. I didn't do any live stream, for example, because I was rewatching all of the Cowboy Bebop episodes.
Nice.
Because I was just doing all those awesome episodes. I'm like, hey, why not watch it?
I like that. So how did you get into art in the first place? I know it's kind of backtracking, but...
Okay, well, in art, let's see. I got interested in art around October 2010 because I saw other people doing it, and I was like, I could probably do this. And I started watching a lot of videos on art saying, hey, you can do art. Or something like all these other crazy videos. I'm like, hey, I could probably try this. Why not? And I basically got into it around October 2010, and if you actually look at where I came from almost 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago now, actually a year and a half ago, it's pretty astounding how far I've come, which is pretty wild, actually. So I really was not exactly the greatest artist, but first, I did dragon art, and then it's like I switched to pony art, and then it's like the pony art's stuck. I haven't done anything else besides pony art the last year and a half now, or full year.
Have you been happy making that art, the pony art?
Definitely. Because I stick to what I know I can do best.
That's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all.
No.
So I guess this might sound like I'm repeating the question, or I'm just repeating and I'll get the same answer, but I gotta ask. Why go from dragons to ponies? I mean, or do you know what I'm trying to ask?
Well, why not go from dragons to ponies? I basically saw an advantage at the time because I had a feeling, just because of what I was reading, is that I heard about the fandom, and I didn't wait like other people who were like, hey, I joined the fandom. Oh wait, I know all these news websites now. It's like basically when I joined the fandom, I knew 2 days later I knew everything about the entire fandom.
Small world.
Well, the thing is, I like to explore stuff a lot, and so I'm very curious enough that I like to dig deeper. And I was like, oh, hey, two days later, I knew about Question Daily. I knew about the ponies. I knew who was the best artist in the fandom. I knew like everybody. And then all of a sudden, I made the transition, which is like, okay, I see a way not only that I can maybe get my name out bigger from doing this conversion, but I also found an avenue where it's like, hey, you know what? This actually is easier for me to draw now. And it's like, it took me about, let's see, May, June, July, August. It took me about 5 months until September to really get the style down. It wasn't truly refined until like November last year.
Okay. So what makes it easier to draw than say anything beforehand?
I think it was just because dragon art for me, it was very difficult to get the anatomy, and it was very difficult to get the perspectives right. And it is for a pony show, because if this it's much easier for me. Okay. But if I am trying to do a pony position, I have a better idea of the poses. And back when I was doing dragon art, I had an idea for a few, but it took me a while to get going. I got right before I made the conversion to pony art. I got it, and it was really starting to refine really nicely. But I just made the switch, and I just haven't looked back. Because I basically saw an advantage with seeing how the fandom was probably growing in the show, and I'm like, why not? Let's just give it a go and see what happens.
So what? I guess in that respect, then, how do I want to ask this? Did the fandom really help kind of make that, or at least was that the driving force behind it? Was the fandom?
Basically, although it was more the driving force behind why I made the conversion was because I saw an advantage to build my name up at the time, and it was like, hey, this stuff's really good. This stuff's catching on. A lot of people are doing it now, and why not join it? Because hey, a lot of people are getting interested in it. And I was like, hey, why not give it a go? And I just did. It was a lot of fun.
Excellent. Nice.
Yeah.
So you made the conversion. You're basically now drawing My Little Pony Friendship is Magic type stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, find the swivel chair. How do I word this question? So why comics? I know most of what you draw is comics, so why comics, not just still imagery?
Well, I was doing still imagery during the beginning part of May through July and August, but I made the switch right around late August. People doing comics, I thought comics at the time was a hot trending thing because a lot of people were doing it. Turns out when I look back, it's a select few who does still comics in the fandom. But at the time, I thought it was like everybody's going to do it, so why not give it a go? And I did it, and it actually caught on really nicely. And then I did a couple still pics after that just to get back into the flow. I thought single pics is where I actually was my specialty. But then I released, I did 2 comics after that in a row, and I realized, this is actually something I can do. And I know there was other people around at the time, but no one had the ideas like I had. And I really wanted to bring them all out. And ever since then, I haven't looked back. I basically have done pure comic pics since November, I think. Yeah, around November, early November. I've done nothing but comics. Maybe a few single pictures here and there for commissions or something like that, but that's about it.
So what were those ideas then?
Just fandom type art. It was like, okay, why not try making a comic on Adult Applepool? And I've seen her done, but I never saw an idea where she is basically leaving the farm. And something like that. I never thought of an idea where I didn't see anybody do an idea to make a comic out of her, where she's actually leaving the farm, and she's reflecting as she's leaving on all the good times she's had. It's like one of those weird ideas I had. I'm like, I better get on this before anybody else thinks about it. And I really thought at the time it was like, oh my god, this is amazing. No one's ever thought of this. But it turns out that wasn't the case. Apparently, a lot of people knew about. It wasn't at a big enough name where I could literally jump to that. But nowadays you can. But back around October or so, it was when the fan was still rising. I didn't really have a true big name out for myself yet, but I just saw ideas like that is what I want to do to stick to the clean humor of the show.
Oof, now you're leaving me at a fork here. Do I ask, tell me about your clean humor clause, or do I ask, what was your breakthrough comic or breakthrough piece?
Whatever you want to go. Which one that's first?
Why don't I ask, what was your breakthrough comic? What was the one that said that you feel this is where my name will be imprinted on the fandom forever? This is where people will know my name.
I'm actually looking back at my gallery right now. I think it was... Oh, man. I think my breakthrough comic had to be... One of my comics, it was one called Luna's Apology, which basically tied into the fact of Luna apologizing to Rainbow Dash for scaring her at the end of Lunar Eclipse. And I went with that idea, and it's amazing because I got a lot of hate for that comic because they're like, these purists out there were like, oh geez, you can't do this, and it's like, Luna would never do that because Rainbow Dash was being a complete jerk in the first place, and it's like, does it really matter? Because I'm to the point where it's a good comic, it's a good idea. I could kind of see it happening, but it was one of those things back then where it's like everybody got on my case for saying, oh, that's not true. And this is around October. This is 4 days before Halloween is when I made the comic, and everybody was like, oh, geez, she's not going to do that, blah, 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 blah. So I got a lot of hate for doing that. It was like, oh, guys, chill out. I stick to the clean humor, guys. I mean, seriously, don't go crazy just bashing my comic that I think is kind of related to the show, or what I think could have happened in the show. But them just bashing it like that at the time it wasn't exactly not that hard to take. It was like, what was harder for me to take was like seeing the comments and seeing just how outrageous they were, and just belittling my work. It was just frustrating at the time, but then I stuck to it, and I think that was the breakout comic that I truly had. It was the one that's Luna's Apology. And ever since then, it's just a wild ride.
That's kind of sad, if you ask me, that it wasn't on many levels, but I think the worst part was that it just That just baffles me. I'm sorry. But
Yeah.
what really irritates me about it is that you're making a big deal out of this. Oh. I think it's just because you touched...
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just because you touched Luna, personally.
Well, actually, it was weird because the thing is, though, that comic was actually, it still is actually one of my top 3 most viewed comics of all time. And it's very funny because I don't get flack for that anymore. It's just that at the time it was like, holy cow, go crazy, people. And I think I think at the time it was the second time I ever got a feature on Equestria Daily, and people, again, really didn't know who I was.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, but they started knowing me, I think, right around January of this year, which when I finally broke out and I was like, oh, hey, this guy's like doing stuff that no one else in the fandom's kind of doing right now. It was a lot of fun though, ever since.
So you said you feel like you've broken out in January. How, what, I'm just reiterating, I guess I don't have a question there. Sorry. So why not, so then tell us about this clean humor clause of yours.
It's not really a clause so much as it is, trying to put this in the right way, because Citrus 360 told me, I remember since describing the idea, it's more of fandom building is the way I like to look at it. I like to stick to the humor that the show is pumping out and try not to go adventures into the shipping or the clop art, if you want to go there, if you're really mature art, if you want to go around there, because I like sticking to the ideas of what the show has presented itself. And I feel like I just feel like I'm the only one that's doing that. I've gotten ideas from people saying, hey, you got to change that. You got to just go out there and make one of those comics. Just make a shipping, make a mature piece, or just something different they want to do. And I'm looking at like, granted, yes, I could get really popular. I just could expand and just get a whole new brand of people following my art. But I like to stick to more of the pure art that this fandom was built upon, which I don't really see much anymore. And I just want to keep that going because I like being unique.
So do you think this clause is paying off, or I guess maybe not paying off is the right term?
Well, paying off, you could probably go with that. I guess you could say it's the right term. Paying off is for me, I'm loving it.
Right.
Paying off, if you look at watchers or stuff that you want to call it, basically, it's been slow. I'm not getting the amount of followers as rapidly as any other person in the fandom would because I just stick to this type of stuff, and it's not exactly. I wouldn't say necessarily it's the most popular. It's just it's very easy to sell other stuff on the fandom and trying to stick to art that is clean. That's the kind of the idea. That's kind of the best way I can put it without it coming across bad.
I was gonna say I guess that answers my next question, but I'm just gonna say this right here. That is commendable. The man who can stick to his principles and succeed at them.
It's commendable, but at the same time, it's like I find it sometimes the fan doesn't accept the fact that I do just this type of art, and they want me to expand. It's like, let other people do it. Because I feel like sometimes if I want to go down that route, it's just a sign that I want to go into popularity. But I don't want to. I can get popular. Granted, I want to get popular at the same time trying to do the art that I'm doing right now, but it's just very slow. It's a very slow turn. I mean, ever since January, I probably have 1,000 new watchers. It's been a slow uptake the last couple of months.
But it's an uptake nonetheless.
It's an uptake. I'm not complaining. It's slow work if you look at other people at the same time. I've boosted up in that same month period or same time. They have at least a couple thousand more than me, even at that time. But no, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it's tougher though to get into the art community. It's tougher for me. I'm seeing it right now. It's tougher to build a name up in the fan of art than it is to make music, for example, which I've been considering doing.
You're considering music?
I'm considering trying to make a track or two. I mean, if I can get good enough with it, I want to see if I can maybe do art and songs at the same time.
Coolio. Maybe put something like art and the art and music together so that the two complement each other or something.
I could probably take any image that I've done over the last year and a half and probably implement it into a music cover, for example. But the problem is I play music, but I don't know music.
But you don't what? We didn't catch that there's a cutoff there.
Oh, the thing is though, I wouldn't know how to make music. It's I know how to play it. I just don't know how to actually make it.
Okay. Summer project?
I guess you could call it that. Maybe towards the end of July I might take that up. Maybe a month or something like that. Alright, so, because the thing is that by the time, I would fear like probably by the end of July I'm going to probably run low on ideas for comics, so I'll probably be Avengers for at least a month or so before season 3 comes out.
Fair enough. So, then, in terms of comic making and whatnot, what's the hardware and software? How do you make your comics?
All right, here we go. All right, I know we did this again, but all right, here we go. Basically, I do my comics are strung out on paper, and I know you can easily make up these sketches. So this is a comic I just recently completed, and the paper sketches for these things. So you have a rarity one right there. You have more rarity and Sweet Adele. Those are the face and stuff like that. And we have another rarity, and then another Sweet Adele. But that's all the panels of a comic I just recently completed. And so I start on paper like that, and then I have a scanner up here. And I scan all those images into my laptop. And then after that, I open up Photoshop CS5, and then I reline art all these sketches, and then I color it and background it on my own, and release it probably 2 or 3 days later. So
say it again, it's a 2 to 3 day process?
Oh, the comic itself, to make a comic, it depends. More likely it's from 2, it's more like 3 to 5 days.
Okay.
And I do my own personal background, so
that's
the
right.
toughest thing. But the backgrounds themselves take me, on the average, 10 hours for me to do, at least. So it's a lot of work. Depending on the structure of the comic, if it's a multiple panel comic with different backgrounds, then it will take at least 10 hours to do, let's say, 4 panels, 4 different panels. But let's say if it's a comic that has 2 panels, 2 backgrounds, it's a 6-panel comic overall, and for 5 of those panels, I can reuse the same background. It probably could be done in 6 hours, maybe, but it's still a lot of time because I had to personally make the backgrounds.
Do you find it worth it to make those backgrounds, each panel individually?
For me, yes, but then sometimes when people are viewing the comic, they don't really see it.
They can't appreciate it.
Yeah, well, sometimes they can't appreciate it because sometimes it's just a lot of effort that I put into it, and some people will say, "Hey, the backgrounds look awesome," but then other people at times will say it's blah. You don't really need to put so much effort into it.
And I ask again, I guess I am asking again, is it worth it to draw those backgrounds?
Well, I would say so. For the most part, I would say it is worth. To me, it's worth it. And as long as I say to me it's worth it, I'm gonna still draw the freaking backgrounds.
So what are your favorite backgrounds to draw then?
Actually, I can tell you, instead of favorite, I can tell you both what I hate and what I do like. The backgrounds I love to do are indoor backgrounds. I don't know why, but those come so much easier to me than outdoor backgrounds. But if you go with the favorite backgrounds, they're definitely indoor backgrounds. I don't really have a specific favorite setting, but I do draw Twilight's library the most out of any background I ever did. But the library is still the most difficult, as I saw in chat. Someone commenting, the library is by far the hardest background for me. It's not so much hard per se. It's just books, an endless number of books I had to put in, and I hate the books. The books are just the most ridiculous things I hate.
Have you ever tried drawing her in, say, like that little room of hers where there are no books, but they're in the her house?
The upper level?
Yeah.
I've done the upper level. The only problem with the upper level is there's books up there too.
Oh, that's right.
There's a if you look at lesson 0 in the very beginning scene, there's her desk has a flat layer, and then there's 2 shelves full of freaking books. And on the back side of the room, there's books too, going down the stairs.
Books everywhere.
I hate books. I hate the book. That's why I haven't done a library picture in a month and a half, I think, now.
So, in other words, you're going to be putting yourself back in that library, aren't you?
If I think of a good enough comic, I can use the setting again, yes.
Fair enough.
But not right now. I don't have a comic idea for it.
So, I want to ask you, no, I kind of want to focus on the comics. I know you've told us you want to tell you tell us that, how do I want to put this? You stick to more story-based or show-based comics, but I've noticed, even going a little bit further back, you're always, like I said, trying to tell a story. What kinds of stories are you interested in telling?
Just stuff that you could almost think could happen in the show. Basically, if you take a comic idea, like the one that I just did right now, there's a comic I did recently, although it's not, sometimes I deviate from the show a little bit. But for example, I did a comic I'm going to pump it out tomorrow, and this one involves all the dirt up other ponies that you've seen. For example, there's a scene in Lunar Eclipse where Twilight has dizzy but derped eyes. I had an idea for this where Twilight and Derpy would be sitting at the cafe, and they would basically, Derpy would say, "Hey Twilight, do you know why I'm so awesome?" or something like that, and Twilight would say, like, "No, why?" And Derpy would say in the next panel, "Because no one has their eyes like me," or something like that. And then the next panel would probably have, I originally had an idea for Twilight to show off. I originally had one of the ponies, like Cloud Kicker. She has a derped eye thing in the Hurricane Fluttershy episode. They're all cheering at the ring, which says, "Are you ready? Are you ready to do this?" Something like that. And it's a little zoom in of Twilight Spitfire, but in the background you see Cloud Kicker raising her eyes are like going that way, like this. And I originally just had her probably just swagging on by. But I changed it up because someone suggested, "Hey, why not do photos or something like that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's a good idea to get the message across because people probably wouldn't get the reference." So instead, that I did is in the next 3 panels, I had Twilight, for example, after she says, "Because no one has eyes like me," I had the next panel have Twilight say, "Actually, ... and you see her flash like 4 photos in front of Derpy with screen captures from where these ponies are derped, and then you see the next panel of Derpy looking down on the photos. The next panel is the actual photos themselves, and then it's like Derpy's giving this really odd glare back at Twilight, who has this really innocent face on. You'll see tomorrow. I will get it out tomorrow.
It'll be fun, man. I like that idea. I really do.
It was a clever idea. I thought about it at work, which is even funnier.
So, go ahead.
No, all my comics, it's much harder to explain my comics than it is to, you have to see, it's harder to explain my comics, you just have to actually see them, and then you'll be like, holy cow, that's really funny.
A different version of show, don't tell?
Kind of. I mean, there's another comic I have, for example, if you want to go for really cute, adorable ones, I'm going to be moving towards Philly comics very soon, which I'm probably going to be like 80% Philly comics, and what I'm going to do is I'm for example, there's a comic I have with Derpy, and I'm literally gonna play off two things with Derpy, two terror type things. Basically, you're gonna have Derpy making with the idea of Spitfire's hair. I'm gonna draw Spitfire's Philly, Derpy they're flying up behind her, about ready to touch her hair, like from your perspective, like Spitfire's are right here, Derpy's right here. You just have to touch it, and then the last panel you're gonna have just Derpy running off all chibi style with a hoof on fire, and Spitfire will have like this weird idea, like what the heck just happened type of thing. And then that'd be one of those comics. And then I guess the other Derpy comic, it's gonna be Pinkie Pie Bubblegum one where she's gonna get a hook just stuck in her hair.
Oops.
And I think, and then another one down the road, it'd be like more Philly comics. Or I guess I have another one. I gotta work on that tonight. I have to start sketching it. It's gonna be making fun of the scene where in the At the Gala episode, for example, the idea for this one, it's not so much exactly it's funny, it's just so much, it's like, wow, that's actually, that's interesting, I didn't think about that. It's going to be an idea where Twilight, when at the Gala episode, when all six are basically saying, when they're all like saying, hey, I waited all my life for this moment, I'm not going to let it slip on by, so I'm going to make this the best I ever remember. I don't know the actual dialogue. Either way, the impression I got in that comic was like, okay, they are actually saying that where they are currently. So what pony could have all those six? You have Pinkie Pie and Rainbow-Dash being all alone, same with Applejack as they say that. Fluttershy's all alone. And then you got Rarity, she's kind of by herself, but she's speaking so softly. The idea then came to me, Twilight is saying that with next to Celestia in a sense. So what I'm going to have is Twilight just blasting whatever she's saying really loudly, but being completely oblivious that Celestia is actually hearing her right next to her about this whole idea. So the thing is, though, I'm going to have her basically say, like, the last two lines of that whole thing. It's going to be like, I don't know why I didn't write down the quote, but it's, she's going to say the quote, and then the second to last panel is going to be, like, having Twilight be, like, in shock, like, what did I just do? But Celestia be, like, saying, what? Off screen? and then you realize, in the last panel, it is Celestia, and she has this really weird look glaring at Twilight, and Twilight has this like really sweet, innocent face on her face, saying, it's like one of those like cute adorable things where it's like she wasn't paying attention, she was just saying that out loud. But I've gotten a lot of people that actually were saying that that comic is actually, it's a brilliant comic. It's funny when you get it done. But I'll get the sketches probably done tonight if I can.
Soliloquies. They don't happen in real life.
No, it's just very funny. I just want them. But I have enough comics to last until BronyCon. That's what I made sure. So I have about 3 weeks worth of comics right now.
Are you going to BronyCon?
I am going to BronyCon. I know Decision 360 is in the chat right now, and I'm going to be helping him with his vendor work.
Cool.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
What vendor work?
He's going to be drawing at BronyCon. And he's going to be in the art panel, and he just needs someone to help him out with all this stuff. So I'm going to be there primarily to help him out. And we decided to split the hotel room together, so we're going to be probably live streaming at the same time. So probably we'll call the lights out, I feel like. But I wait like 7 o'clock in the morning to help him out, so it's like it's not like that. I hate waking up early on a weekend.
I ask because never been to a convention. Doubt if I ever will, so.
I have no idea. We'll see what happens. I mean, I've been to one convention, but these are all meteorology conventions, so I at least have an idea what a convention is like.
Okay. Meteorology?
That's where I studied in college. I graduated from college last year, but this is the 5th time I've been to some sort of convention.
Okay. Why, if I may go a little off topic here, why meteorology? I mean,
I'll just make it quick. This is something I wanted to do ever since I was 5 years old, and I haven't chased.
Coolio.
So yeah, it's just simple. I don't know, nothing special.
Meteorology is cool because of all the math behind it.
I hate the math behind it. I just like forecasting. That's what I did. Forecaster.
Fair enough. So you mentioned live streaming. Tell me about that.
Okay, my live streams are. I try and stream everything that I do. With the live stream channel is you do livestream.com but slash Toxic Mario, all one word. But the thing is though, with the live streams is I know a lot of people don't live stream often. I know like the big names in the fan, they rarely stream. Like they will do a stream once a month or something like that. You get like 1 million people and it's like, no, that's not that fun because and what I like to do is like I'd like to give people the opportunity to at least come to a live stream, even if I'm like average or middle of the ground in the fandom, which I guess 4,000 watches technically is nowadays middle of the ground in the fandom. But I like to give anybody a chance to experience what it's like to be in a live stream, and my live streams are so much different than normal live streams. Like the Citra and I, we do dual streams like every other day, it feels like now. And we go back and forth with our music. He'll play a song, I play a song. It's a wild and fun 2 hours, mainly until he logs off or signs off, and I'm still on for another couple hours. You know, he's on the West Coast, which is kind of funny. But then, what I like to do is I like to stream I mainly stream because I like the added pressure that I get doing stuff in front of people because I feel like I get work done better than if I'm just singing alone. Like right now, just talking. Like right now, I'm getting like no work done. It's basically like that if I'm not live streaming. I feel more lazy.
Combat against lazyitis.
Yeah, it just gives me something to do, basically.
Okay.
And the thing is like right now during the summer and in March and April, there's no big sports going on right now that I'm really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I follow baseball, but there's so many games. The hockey season's over for me, and that ended in April because my team sucked. And the football season, the problem is with football season, I always told people this. I told them last year, I'm going to tell them again this year when the time comes. I have no live streams on Sundays. I cancel every stream for 3 months on Sundays because I watch football. That's all I do.
Hey, I watch football. Who doesn't enjoy a good game?
And I do. It's just the thing is, I wouldn't say necessarily I don't stream. I mean, I still work in college. I don't live stream on Sundays because I would be distracted and watch the games. And what I do is I can work on a comic at the same time as I'm watching the games, but I don't have to focus my attention purely on entertaining live streamers.
Who's your team for the record?
Basketball, I don't really have one. Baseball is the Red Sox, football is the Buffalo Bills, and hockey is the Buffalo Sabres.
I figured it'd be the Sabres if you were Buffalo Bills fan. That's all fine and dandy.
Yeah, I'm not even from Buffalo, but I just grew up as a Bills fan, so it's a lot of fun.
Good stuff. So what do you mean entertaining live streamers?
In my live streams, the way I conduct them is I draw, obviously, but at the same time, I like to keep it entertaining. A lot more than 95% of the live streams a lot of people in the fandom, or even 95% of the live streams out there. Basically, what I do in my live streams is I live stream, I do the comics, but at the same time, I do episodes, I play music, and I play old shows, just from my 90 shows, just to mix it up a lot. So what I do is I just mix the live streams up so much that there's a lot of variety, and it just makes it a lot of fun I do 50% drawing, but then I also interact with the chat a lot, so it's kind of fun.
You do interact with us. I like your level of interaction. Can I just say that?
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. You can't go 100% interaction with us. You never get the job done. But of course, if you go 0%, that's not very fun for us. So, may I just say thank you that you do that?
Yeah, no problem. Because, well, here's the thing. Also, what I do is there are certain points in my comics that it's really boring to watch me do certain things. The line art, especially, is really, really, really stupidly boring to watch. So that during those times, I love to I'd like to distract people away from the actual comic itself, because it's the most boring part of the thing. All I'm doing is just reline arting all my paper sketches. So it's like on Photoshop, because I have to, so it doesn't look right. But that's, for the most part, unless I do like a short amount of those sketches, it gets really boring over a 4-hour period to do all that. So I have to entertain people in other ways to just at least make time go by as I'm doing this. And I do give these paper sketches away, but yeah, I keep a whole stack, and actually, just for the record, I'll show you what I have. Hang on. This whole stack is paper sketches I pulled together over the course of a year. These are all my paper sketches. Actually, yeah, these are about 8 months worth of paper sketches. So all the comics I ever did, all in the stack of paper, are all here. You can probably see them. These are all paper sketches. So yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but you can kind of see like all these images. So yeah, and I know they are front and back.
And back. Wow. At least you're efficient with paper, unlike the government.
Actually, the thing is, so once I actually do get rid of all these, I'm probably just chuck them on the recycling bin. Actually, the one goal I did have, is kind of a weird thing right now, is, I just realized there's another thing that, well, I'll get that later. It's up there.
Okay.
But it's just funny because everybody says, like, hey, why do you do all these paper sketches? And it's like, that's the way I can do it. That's the only way I can get the stroke style right before I put it into Photoshop.
Why not, say, get some kind of, I don't know, computer pad or some sort of uploadable thing like that and connect it to the computer and draw that way? I've seen that been done.
Because I stuck with this method for like forever, it just works. The problem is, it does. I will say, the method doing it like this, it does take an extra day for me to do comics, because it is depending on how complex the paper sketches go, it can take me at least another night to do all these things.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun though. It's just ridiculous. I actually did want to see how many paper sketches I do by the time the stand-up ends. It's probably like that stack's probably gonna triple by the time I'm out of fan.
This might seem like a bit of an off-topic question. I apologize for that, but it kind of works with the whole live streaming thing. Tell me about the muffin, the hidden muffin you always do.
Really? You want me to tell you about that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the muffin, I don't remember who suggested it. I'm gonna probably say, I'm looking through the chat to see if the person's serious. If I know who it is, I probably would know. I don't know who exactly it was. It may have been someone, I don't know if it was like Allerpax or someone random, I remember, said, dude, why don't you put Easter eggs in your comics? It'll make it a little bit more entertaining. And I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. I've seen people do these weird Mickey ones, and they put the old Mickey symbol. I've seen other people do their signatures hidden in the picture. And I realized, what could be done that no one has decided to do yet in the fandom? Muffins. That's exactly where we could hide muffins all over the comic. And the thing is, so Easter eggs, what makes it a lot of fun is, it gives an extra type of fun thing. That it's not so much that it's kind of like a guilty pleasure for me, kind of to hide it, because the one thing I do get is whenever I had a muffin, instead of people just reading through the comic and just blasting through all the effort that I put in backgrounds and stuff like that, it actually will take people time to actually look at the backgrounds, kind of quote-unquote appreciate the detail they put in the backgrounds, but as they're looking for the muffin, they can still appreciate how much detail I have in backgrounds.
That's a good point.
It's a sick way of doing it, but at the same time, it's a way for people to actually appreciate how much effort I put into these backgrounds. But yeah, it just gives me an extra type of thing to it just gives an extra dimension, an extra fun thing to do. Instead, people are like, oh, hey, there's your picture. Oh, that's cool. Oh, wait, there's a muffin here. Oh, I gotta reread this comic. And while I'm trying to find the muffin, I can either reread the comic or just see, God, look at these little details in the background. They're incredibly show related or something like that. It's like, how does he do it?
That is just brilliant. May I just go ahead and say that that's a smart move? On so many levels.
Do it in the fan, but it's funny.
Now, how do I want to word this one? I guess I have to say it. I think there's only one comic to this day since the first time I interviewed you that I have yet to find the muffin. And I'm not meaning with hints. No. I'm meaning just straight up, no hints, just looking for the blasted thing and I cannot find it.
Which one is it?
Oh, I don't even remember. There's been so many since then. But
you have to probably sift through my comics. I only started them probably 3 months ago. It's about 30 comics I've done so far.
It was right about, has it really been that long?
I have no idea. I think it's around. I think it's probably like very early April. I know it was in April.
Fair enough. Now, I know we've already kind of touched about Citra 360, but is there anything you could tell me about him that you haven't touched upon with him? Him and you in relationship to art and maybe some other stuff. Yeah, I know he's here, so
he's here, which is kind of funny. But let's see. Basically, we do collabs together at times, but the live stream things between him and I is what we're really well known for. On live streams, especially, it's just a lot of fun. But every now and then, we will do collaborations.
Reading the text. Reading the text, I presume.
Yeah, I was cool to see in the chat, but it's basically we do live streams. And the thing is, the dual streams is really what we do best, and it's actually quite funny because people we've done it since I would say December. So because we get so many people on our live streams, and we've done it for a while now, it's just become a staple of both of our live streams. Like, hey, dude, you're live streaming? You're doing stream? Oh, that's pretty cool. And it's like sometimes, and people will actually know when we're doing it because either they're watching both of our streams at the same time and they'll see us go back and forth with the music, or it's kind of a sick competition between the both of us. Show off like who has the better music each night, which is a lot of fun because some of the music that he has, like I don't have. I have a few songs that he doesn't have, which is kind of funny. But the problem is he's usually way behind the music posts than I am. But it's just a lot of fun. But then other than that, we did 2 collaborations. One was a clever comic, and then the other one was a picture that we did in November, I think it was. Yeah, November. November, or earlier in November. And we're trying to work on another collaboration, but we don't exactly know what we want to do yet. And he's really the one. He's the go-to guy. If I want to collab with, he's the guy I work with.
Very good. Then I guess I'm gonna wrap up my end of the questions, and we'll get into the audience questions here after this question, if any, stem from it. What are your future plans? What are short and long term? What are you looking at doing?
Making more comics. Making more comics. Not going into the mature comics. I know I got this last night. I was on a big Skype chat with a lot of people who are big names in the fandom, and they were like, "Oh, dude, you should do mature art. You should do the iffy art. I'll put it that way." And I told him, no, I can't. Granted, it'd be more popular for me. It would give me holy cow, new watchers, explore the parts of the fandom that people are going crazy. But I can't. I am fandom building as best I can. And if I can for the long term, I want to see if I can make music maybe with the help of Fuzogs or Gaijin, who is an up-and-coming musician in the fandom. But I probably won't do that at least until August, I think.
Okay.
But I will say, like, if anybody is actually trying to do art or music, I would probably almost steer some people towards the music side because that's the bigger side of the fandom. There's more musicians well-known than artists in the fandom, oddly enough.
Does it mean you can't? Does not mean you can't make a name for yourself as an artist.
Yeah, it's just very tricky because right now, because there's so much art in the fandom, you basically either have to hit gold at this point in the fandom, or it's a boom or bust because there's so many people in the fandom, and it's like it's been around for 2 years, so it's much harder to make a boom or bust in the art world because I've seen artists who are really good, but they struggle to get noticed because it's so saturated now in the art community. That's the only unfortunate thing. But if I can do both, I would do both.
I just have one last question. I forgot to ask this one when I was asking about live streaming. When do you do it?
Hopefully every night, or if I do, for example, I do live streams 2 or 3 nights in a row, and then I'll maybe take a day off unless I can get a sketch out. The next comic sketch is done by that next night. Or, so I'll have to wait at least another day to get my streams. But usually I notify people on my polls on my DeviantArt account, so that's usually where I go. And I will stream mainly any time of day, but primarily I stream from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern to around 2 to 5 a.m. Eastern. I do long live streams.
Okay.
I spend the entire night, like, there. If I'm live streaming.
Trust me when I say this, people. If you haven't been to one of his live streams, go to one of his live streams. It is worth it. Let me just say that right now.
It's fun. Although, it's best when to sit on our dual stream because we pump out music that is just ridiculously good whenever we do that. So it's like, if we dual stream, that's when the live stream reaches its peak of awesomeness. Because, it's fun listening to music that he has, and then, and it's just back and forth. It's just a lot of fun.
All right, I am opening the floodgates on the Battle with Brewing's chat. Everyone, it's your turn. What are your questions? And I still got a few to keep things kind of rolling, but I will say, for those in the Battle with Brewing's room, of course, use the text question room. And for those of you guys here, if you want to ensure on Tiny Chat, if you want to make sure I get your question, send me a private message, okay? Because I probably will not see it in the chat, in the stream. Oh, what was the question I had for you? How long have you been in the fandom? Refresh me on that one.
I've been in the fandom since May 21st, 2011. I actually remember the date exactly. It's kind of funny.
So, hey, remembering the date is nothing.
No, it's just funny because it was such a specific date. And I got my first art out 2 days later, so it's like it was just easy to remember.
September 13th, 2011.
I was one of the earlier people.
If you can't private message, just write it in, and I'll try my darndest to catch it. But Mr. Ben should hopefully help some things. Oh, I've got a couple. There are just 2 very special things I want to bring up. For those of you who are in the chat who are also artists or musicians or do some sort of content work, if you want your stuff displayed on my show, And who knows, it might even lead to you being in Toxic Mario's seat. Hopefully not that many times, but
Yeah.
send me a message via my email on the website. Mr. Ben will provide the website for you. Just send me your name and tell me I want my stuff displayed, and I'll keep tabs on you. And like I said, who knows? You might end up in his seat.
Yeah, no.
If,
I'm trying to see if I can find that dash because I know everybody's gathering the questions. I'm going to see if I can find it. It's not on the dresser. It's like, it's not there.
Yeah, what was it you were going to show us?
I don't know where it is. I put it somewhere. Oh, well. Oh, I put that. I really hope I'm on dang clean. That'd be really stupid if it was actually up on that dresser. I really hope she didn't take it.
We have a question from Geo Guardian. Tox, who is your biggest inspiration?
Oh, wow. Does that mean actual artists, or does that mean brony artists? Oh, are the
All
artists?
the artists.
Oh, jeez. I can tell you the guy who got me into art, and that was the Bob Ross dude. He was the guy that actually got me interested, saying, hey, anybody can do it. And I was like, yeah, why not? I'll give it a go. But then the actual fandom artists, oh, jeez. Holy cow. I don't think I really have a person that I necessarily look up to. It's just, I just do what I do. It's just, it's kind of the best I can give. Usually it's like, I don't really have an inspiration artist. Like, there's not like a guy who I look up to. I just do what I do. That's it.
Sometimes the greatest thing you can do is to just do something on your own. No inspiration, no means of vengeance, just doing something.
I know.
People are asking for your cat.
Yeah, I have a cat who's kind of a fat ass, but he's he's sleeping right now. I really wanted to. I could really go grab him up here. He's a big cat. I showed him at live stream, so he'll be sitting. If I'm downstairs where I usually live streams, I have a better internet signal. I might just get the cat after this whole thing and film it, but it is he's usually the cat. What everybody's asking about, the cat sits behind me if I'm downstairs on the couch as I'm live streaming. He'll be like right here somewhere, and he'll be just sleeping there for about 20 minutes, and I'll show him off in my live stream.
Citra asks, will you ever use Illustrator?
He's been actually asking that question for a while now. I could use Illustrator, I just don't know how to use it. But I don't want it to come across as like, hey, I'm vectoring more than as I don't know if I can use Illustrator instead and reline arting. Instead of doing it at the con, because I can get it into the show style itself just by naturally doing it in Photoshop. It's just there's a cleanup process that I have to do, and it's a complete pain. When if I can get the same lines, like the fixed lines, to look right as I do it in Illustrator, I would love to do it. So it's a lot of fun. I'll use Illustrator. If this is teaches me Illustrator at BronyCon, we'll totally do it then.
Cool. This one comes from Dalton Bandy. By the way, I hope I'm pronouncing all these names correctly. I am not good with names. Not only pronouncing them, but remembering them. Anyway, who is your favoriteest pony? I think you already answered this one.
It's Pinky. Just because she's more like my personality. That's why
I just give you a woo, because she's my favorite too.
Yeah. So that's a lot of fun.
This one comes from. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I did a poll actually of that 2 days ago. Yesterday, saying, "Hey, how well do you know Tetra-Toxin Mario?" when is Toxic Mars' favorite pony? And actually, I was very quite surprised. So the most popular answer people gave me right behind Pinkie Pie was Rainbow Dash.
I figured it would be Dash.
Rainbow Dash is my third, I think, second or third behind Pinkie. It was like, dang, I'm surprised a lot of people thought that.
But now if they just watch this, they're going to know more about... let me back up. If they watch this or are here right now, might not be worth it to ask such polls.
Yeah, true. I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
This one comes from Rody Chase. Question: ever heard of Cave Story? I think that might be a fanfic.
Fan fiction? I don't read fan fiction. I like to stay away from it just because I don't want to get ideas jumbled in my head that mix with the actual canon stuff. So, yeah, I kind of stay away from fan fiction. Even though I know it's good, I like to just stay away from it.
I can't blame you for that reason.
Yeah.
No, I can't blame you for that reason. That's a good reason. This one comes from Geo Guardian. If you were a pony, what would you be? No alicorns.
Obviously, alicorns. Pegasus, just because their ability to control the weather and ability to fly.
Flight fan?
Huh?
Like to fly?
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
Nice.
I'm just saying, it's more of a weather thing. It's more of a weather control thing. That's why I would pick it. It's a lot of fun.
How do they move the clouds around?
I don't know. Logic in the show doesn't make sense. There you go. That's magic. There you go.
Now, I guess I'm fine with them standing on it, but yeah, moving. I'm getting off topic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This one comes from Allerpax. Again, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is that lava lamp functional?
Not at the moment. The light bulb are down on it.
Aww.
So it needs a light bulb part of the size of this cap.
Okay.
It's probably the size of the light bulb I need to get for it. So yeah. Oh well. What are you gonna do?
This one comes from number 1. Question: will you be streaming from the con?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody else will be live streaming from the con, but I will not be live streaming live at the convention because I'm going to be helping to Citra out most of the day. If he's bringing his laptop, I'm bringing my laptop, I'll put it that way. But I wouldn't have anything to live stream just because I need a mouse, I need my power pad, and I need to have a laptop on a steady platform. But there's going to be so many people there, so you can but I will live stream at night. That's the thing. I will live stream at night or something. I'll still do that, but nah. And I will not be selling any prints.
I'm just asking this out of curiosity. Is anyone going to be live streaming there, like during the convention?
Yeah.
Do you happen to know?
Everfree Radio is taking care of all the live streams.
Okay. Let's see. Any more questions? This one comes from Geo Guardian. Question: what's your view on clopping? I think that's been...
I say that already. I don't like it one bit. Granted, the artist itself can do whatever they want. I just totally don't support that in the fandom. That's the quickest, best answer, simplest answer I can get to that.
Where was? Oh yeah, Citra. If you could, would you go to the Seattle Con?
Yes. But that's too much money I'd be pumping into 2 cons. I'll put it that way. That's $800. It's not only going to be... It's not like that. I would have to get a last-minute flight, and the tickets just opened up today, and they're all sold out, I think. Again. So I'd be out of it. If I did do it, although I will say this, if I did it, if during the winter they do a Seattle Con, I probably would be at the Seattle Con probably.
Cool.
So, I don't know. That'd be a tough choice for me to decide whether or not to go to RonnieCon or something in the winter, or Seattle Con, Evergreen Northwest in the winter. That'd be a tough coin. I'll just have to see how they have on the guest list.
This one comes from Chalk Zone. Question: will you be selling any prints or anything at the con?
I won't be selling anything. I don't have a vendor spot, and I remember I asked someone who's actually in charge of the convention if I could actually sell something there, and they like, no. They just said flat out no. So I'm like, okay, I can argue with that. So yeah, no, I won't be selling anything, unfortunately.
I don't see any more questions, but I've got one. You said you do commissions, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess what are your prices and what do you do? What do you do in respect to them?
Obviously, some of my stands are no clothing and no shipping as far as my commissions go. But the prices, if you look at comic artists around the fandom, I do charge right around average for them. Maybe $1 more for here and there if it's a comic commission.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get comic commissions because they look to other people who do that. I do more single picture commissions because people are like, hey, but why? I don't know. But if I did do a comic commission, I'd be like, hey, I would need a lot of money because these backgrounds take a lot of time to do.
What are your prices?
Around $35 for a comic commission, around $20 for a single picture with a background.
Okay.
I don't get it that much though.
Do you do like no background, just a creation, a picture or something?
Yeah, I can do straight up single pictures. I did one last night that was a single picture, but that was more of a request one. I knew I could pump that out in about an hour.
Okay.
So but I stick mainly to commissions though. On very rare occasions where I do one of those.
Okay. This one, bit of a silly question. Geo Guardian asks, question: will you give us a bro hoof?
Yay! Punch. Yeah. I touched the computer cam.
Falcon. Punch. I'm sorry. I know that was bad.
That was bad.
Question from one. Will you be taking your camera with you? And if so, will we get to see pictures?
I have my camera up here somewhere. But yeah, I probably will bring my camera. I have a whole backpack. This whole backpack right here is what I'm taking to the convention, probably.
So I'm assuming just basically one change of clothes and all the other gear?
Oh, no. I'm bringing a suitcase. I'm just saying that's going to be where I'm putting all my main tech gear, to call it, if you want to put it that way. That's all I'm doing. All my other stuff is, yeah.
Good deal. This one comes from Huao Rodil. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I know I totally butchered the name there. What are your thoughts on Season 3?
I don't have any thoughts on it because once it gets to around July is when I'll get excited for it. I'm taking this as the off season right now.
What do you? I think I could be. I think they might be asking. What about? What are you hoping to see? I think is what they might be asking.
I have no clue. I like to be surprised. That's the thing. It's not so much like what I want to see. I just want to see two things. The only two things I want to see is I want to see Applejack get a pure Applejack episode, and I want I want to see a pure Scooby episode.
We all do.
That's the only two things I really just want to see. Other than that, I can care less what happens. It'd be a lot of fun either way.
Good deal. Question. Coke, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper, or other?
I like all those those, but Dr. Pepper. That's the easiest answer I can give.
Huh?
That's the easiest answer I can give. Easiest.
Fair enough. This is from Citra. Question: how did you react when I gave you Dash?
It was awesome. I know I have the video still somewhere on my computer of the actual whole thing, but it was actually very funny. I actually don't know what happened to it. It was supposed to be up there on that dresser, but apparently I don't know what happened. I don't know if someone took it off the desk or I know it should be in the room. If it's not on the desk, it's not there. I don't know where it is because that one's really hard to find.
This one is from Geo Guardian. Question: do you watch Avatar, Legend of Korra, or Young Justice? If not, what shows do you watch?
I just watched I only watched the Legend of Korra one out of those ones, but I like to stick to National Geographic, Sports Discovery, or the Game Show Network. It's kind of a science channel. Those are my couple of networks I stick to. I'm with History Channel. Those are my exclusive networks.
Okay, fair enough. So what do you watch on them?
Discovery Channel can be anything. History Channel will be like the Pawn Stars, or the Pickers, American Pickers, or American Restoration, or just any other cool show that's on there. Sports is sports. History Channel, Science Channel, whatever cool is on. And National Geographic, I don't know, whatever they have.
Fair enough. What, oh shoot, there was something I had, but, oh yeah, it was, never mind. Question from one. You said you were the most like Pinkie Pie. Which would you want to be like?
That question makes no sense.
Yeah,
it's the same answer. It's the same. It's the same thing. I would want to be Pinkie. There you go. There's the answer to that.
Part of the problem with Tiny Chat here is you basically only get a one-line message, almost literally. You can only if you reword it, I'll ask it again.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, next question from Roadie Chaser, and I guess this kind of ties into a later one by Mr. Ben, so I'll ask them both. Do you play video games? And if so, are there any indie games you like?
I'll put it this way: the type of games I play console games. I know that Standard, for example, is so gung-ho on the Team Fortress 2. I don't play Team Fortress 2. I never really cared to get into that game. It's just a game everybody in the fandom plays. But
go to Brony State. You'll only confirm those suspicions. Or confirm that again, not suspicions.
I just don't play the big names of the standard does, like Skyrim, or I don't play. I'm more of the more classical type of gamer. I like to stick to more of the classic games, or if I have to, I can go with my own first-person shooters, or if I really want to, I can go to sports games. It's really just those. I'm limited to those two, and maybe the Nintendo game if it's good enough.
This is my personal question. What systems do you have?
I have all three systems plus 8 others, and including and I have all the Game Boys from over the past 20 years.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, you got me beaten. That's saying something.
And it's quite a collection. I'll put it that way. It's over 400 something games combined for all the games, systems, and stuff like that. It's a
What
lot.
will you likely be doing as a hobby outside of ponies? Citra.
Weather stuff. I just hate this stuff as an avenue of fun. But if I can explore it and maybe make a career out of it, heck yeah, I'll totally take that up then.
Coolio.
So yeah, that's basically the best answer I can give it on that right now. That's a long-term answer. But I will say it's once, and if the fandom does me its end, then I'll probably stop ponies, but then I'll probably go into full-blown weather then at that point. It will also draw, but it won't be as frequent.
Fair enough.
I'll be exploring then.
Question from GeoGuardian. How old do you think your fan base is? I guess the average age.
Right around my age of 23. I can tell you this. I usually get more of the older people in the fandom for whatever odd reason. I don't get many people younger than 20, I would say, in my live streams personally. If I do, it is it's here and there, I'll put it that way.
Okay.
Oh wow, actually, well, I do get a lot of younger people around 18. That's interesting.
Gotta cut it off somewhere.
I just said around 23. When I say around, that's a range between 20 and 28. That's usually mine.
I lost my... Here we go. Yeah, like I said, this scroll function. Some days... Question. What is... this is from Dalton Bandy. What is your favorite old school game?
Yoshi's Island. That's the easiest answer. That's the easiest answer anybody's given me so far. It is Yoshi's Island. I grew up with the game. I played that game so much when I was around 8 years old, and it's just a classic game. I still have that game on the NES somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I have it, and I have the remake of it on the GameCube. I have the Game Boy Advance.
That was a fun game. Let me just say that was fun.
It was a lot of fun. I love that game.
Have you, just out of curiosity, have you beaten it 100%?
Yes. I got all hundreds on every single file in that game. Nice. That was a hellish way to do it, but it took me a long time to do it. I finally got it. Especially the last world was the hardest one, and the bonus worlds.
Oh, I can only imagine that.
I died so many times on the bonus world. That was rough. Although I never completed on the Game Boy. I don't think I ever got 100% on the SNES one, but I got it on the Game Boy Advance one. I know that for a fact. I got it on the Game Boy Advance ones. I actually had a file. I could even prove it, but I'm not going to get it right now.
Mr. Ben asks, Celestia appears in your room and offers to grant you one wish. What do you wish for?
To be a pony.
Fair enough.
Or to make it really complex, like make it wish it was equestrian and everybody was a pony, like the show. There you go.
Nice. Say, why go small scale when you can go the whole world?
I'll go to equestrian. There you go. Actually, no, go to equestrian. That would kind of suck out.
How so?
Because you leave everybody behind.
Good point.
I have logic.
Road Chaser, you're probably gonna have to retype your question. He asks, what would you do if you see a mine turtle? Oh wait, no, I know what those are. Yeah. What would you do if you ever saw a mine turtle?
What now?
Do you know what those are?
Not exactly, no. Is that a Minecraft thing?
No, this, I can't even remember where they're from, but long story short, they're just as they sound. Like a landmine on a turtle.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that one.
GeoGuardian asks, what movie is what movie from your childhood is your favorite?
That's not a fair question. Holy cow. I would assume it. Let's see. If I'm 23, let's see, childhood would be until 2002, I would say. So anything, I would, honest to God, I would probably say it was Lion King, just because that movie was so good to me. I'm gonna go with that one. Lion King is my movie in my childhood.
Nice.
Or Independence Day, because those are two good movies.
Will Smith. That's all we need to say.
Because those are the two movies I used to just watch a lot. Oh no, Twister. There you go, Twister. That was also the other one. Those are the three movies. Twister was the movie that got me into weather officially. There you go. So it was good.
Twister, the hot spot. Oh wait, wrong thing.
Wrong thing.
This one comes from one moderately funny brony. Question: if you could choose to kill, or if you would have any pony die, which one would it be and why?
Oh, come on, really? That's a stupid question. I hate that question.
You don't have to answer it.
I'm not going to answer that. That's a stupid question. I'm not going to lie. Why would you want any pony to die? I'm not going to lie.
Geo Guardian, my turtle are from ASDF movie. ASDF movie. ASDF.
Oh, okay. How's that?
Have you? One asked the question: have you watched the show Storm Chasers? And if so, would you want to join them?
No, because they're a bunch of jerks, and I would probably want to chase with my own group of people.
That's a good point. Citra asks, huh?
No.
Okay. Citra asks, do you still want my Crystal Dash keychain?
Yes. That's when I met the sister last month. It was like, he got a keychain from New York City, and it was like, he showed me, it was like, oh, it's out there. So he got me this thing, and it was like, hey, that's cool, but I want the keychain. I told you I should buy it off.
So you're going to buy one when you go to the con?
If there is one, and people are not stupidly overpriced and everything, I'll buy one. Because, I don't know.
Dalton Bambi asks, do you like the episode Party of One?
Yes, because everybody keeps telling me to play it on my live stream too. It's the most requested episode every single time. Like every day I keep up with the guy.
Wait. It's more requested than Luna Eclipsed?
Luna Eclipsed is second.
I figured so.
It's just
World
every day, even though you may have played the day before, then like not the live stream before, people always want it, and I get really annoyed at it because it's like I'm not gonna play that. So I play the episode maybe once every 2 weeks.
Fair enough. Geo Guardian asks, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? And no, you can't have absorbing power, like
Flying. There you go. These are all easy one-word questions. Just like these are easy. It's flying.
No one said they had to be complicated.
Oh, I know. It's just funny though.
Allerpax asks, what did you think of a balloon party on a scale from 1 to 10? Maybe there's something I missed there.
That was the big album that came out. 6. I would go with a 6 because there was good stuff on it, and the one big criticism I've seen was that there was too many artists that were the same on it, or they could have mixed it up just a little bit more. There were some songs that weren't quality enough to get onto the album in the first place. So, yeah, I give it around a 6. There are a few songs I like in there. It's just not like, oh my god, it's the greatest thing in the freaking world. It's all go crazy. To me, it was a little bit overhyped, the entire balloon party.
Fair enough. Dr. Volpine asks, when will you stream the G1 movie? You know, the one with the schmooze.
Good luck with me ever streaming G1 stuff probably ever again, because I streamed 2 episodes of that and I literally wanted to jump out my window.
You did, or your audience did?
Me. And the problem is, when I started doing that at the end of my stream, everybody left.
Wow.
I had 25 people. I remember at one point it went down to 10 people. I was like, God, I'm not doing that again. No. I must have a small live stream. I'm only going to do that.
By the way, I gotta ask, did you get that 50 limit ban lifted?
Oh no, it's still 50 because they haven't accepted my request. Still, over 2 months for me to bump up to 100. I'm still at the 50 person limit. I could probably just call them and say, hey, I need my live stream opened up.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Couldn't hurt anything, I'll tell you that much.
No, I couldn't hurt, but I keep saying them and they're like, hey, no.
Posers.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
One question.
Citra asks, what would you be doing now if you were not being interviewed?
Sketching. I have a comic that I gotta do. It's a complete pain comic that I gotta work on, and it's a gala one, so I gotta, not only do I have to make the dress for Twilight, I have to also make 4 separate poses of Twilight, and then Celestia. And I hate drawing Celestia because she's so freaking hard to draw.
The wavy hair?
No, it's just the body itself. It's just the angle of the face and everything. She's just such a tricky character to draw. I am not drawing her. I draw her very now and then, but I haven't drawn her since let's see, April 20th. So close to 2 months I haven't drawn her.
Yeah, I'll say that and how long did it take before that?
Jeez, I'm actually going to my gallery right now. Let's see. So April 20th through, wow, holy cow. The last time I drew Celestia before that was February 12th. So basically every 2 months I draw her. It's really weird.
What of, then, is Luna any worse or any better?
She's harder. The strangest thing, she's actually harder to draw, I feel like. Like, Cadence is the hardest to draw.
Who is?
Cadence is by far the hardest to draw 3 coins, but Luna is probably the second hardest now. She was the hardest, I can put it that way. And I just got used to it. It's like, the only thing that's tricky is her body and the back legs. That's the only thing that's hard.
Practice makes perfect, but doesn't mean it's easy.
No, true. I agree with that.
Geo Guardian asks, if you could bend an element, which would it be? A la Avatar. But you can't be the Avatar themselves.
Water. You think that water can beat fire, and water is heavier than anything else, really. There you go.
Work well against Earth by Pokemon logic.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah, of course. There you go. And now that you can manipulate the water a lot better. I'm a genius. It's logic.
Mr. Ben asks, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, or other? Ice cream, I assume.
Vanilla. There you go. Next question.
Next question, eh? Dalton Bandy asks, what was the last movie you saw?
Well, the Avengers movie.
Nice.
That was the last movie I saw in theaters.
What about... Huh?
That was a great movie. That's a really good movie.
This one is from Citra. How did you know about... Citra's asking question to the chat. So I will say everyone. How did you know about this interview?
Oh. They actually knew from a poll that I created.
Oh, you made a poll? Cool. Thank you.
Saying streaming this. And he's like, hey, join for the fun. So there you go.
You know.
And then, hey, we got one of the biggest audiences here, so there you go.
If you're curious, I think, what was the largest we had, Mr. Ben? 50 from Brony State, and that was just on Tiny Chat alone.
Oh, wow. Okay, they shared the old record then.
That one was
made by 25. The old record was made by our third interview, and that was 25.
That was, and yeah, I kind of expected that, given that we were streaming on their Euro show, and to make a long story short, after so many, what should have been another rescheduling for, I'll tell you later, we managed to make it work. And there were, like I said, on Tiny Chat alone, there were about 50 people here. It was nuts, but we made it work, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this one.
Yeah, true. Yeah. It's just funny. There's I don't know. So I was surprised that I realized, like, oh, hey, I thought I had my record. It was like, I can't find the record anymore.
Sorry about bursting your bubble there.
I'll be curious. It's like, again, it kind of shows like I am not exactly the most popular still on the planet as people like this assume I am.
Well, given that when we were doing the Brony State interview, there were about 225 people on their end of the chats. It's not surprising. So like I said, that was given that some of those would join into Tiny Chat. I don't think we had a soul from my end of the interview, but I digress. And I'll explain this all later, but I want to focus on you here.
Mm-hmm.
One moderately funny brony asks, do you take comic requests?
No, requests, commissions, yes. But they have to be good commissions. And I always hate when people say, like, hey, because the one thing I always want to overlook is, like, if I did a comic, sure, it'd be written by me, but technically the person who wrote the comic should get more credit than the artist because that was their idea. And it was really good. I didn't think of the idea at the time. I just drew what they thought of. It was like, hey.
Citra asks, what would you say and do if I don't stream for a month?
I think that would piss a lot of people off.
How so?
Because I'd like to do dual streams, and it's just weird when it's not done for an extended period of time. Which gives you the impression that he's probably not going to stream for the rest of the month. Which I'm just reading between the lines, which would really stink.
Yeah. Doesn't mean you can't. It does not mean you have to stop. But
no, I'm not stopping. Oh no, I'm going just continue streaming like crazy. It'd be like every 3 nights in a row, and then it would be like a night off, and then 3 nights in a row, and a night off. Unless I have back-to-back comics I can do.
Okay.
But they're exhausting.
Geo Guardian asks, Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle?
Charmander. I always start out with Charmander. Any game I ever played, I always start with the fire Pokemon.
Which, just again, out of curiosity, which Pokemon games do you have?
All of them.
Nice.
Every single game we're calling one, except for and then a few Pokemon Stadium ones, and then nothing really after that. It's just I have a lot of the Game Boy ones.
Okay. Still, nice. One asks, if you could get the chance to talk to Lauren Faust, what would you ask her?
What question has not been asked to her? It might look good, though, if I did ask a question to her. Oh, jeez. That's a good question. That's actually a very hard question to think about on the spot, actually.
Okay.
I probably would say, I know she's probably got the question, like, saying, hey, what was your inspiration to do this show? But it's like, I just may actually just have to ask her that question unless I can think of anything better. It was more like, how did they actually approach you to do the show? But I know she's answered all these things in a big questionnaire.
Doesn't mean it's...
So, yeah.
Just because... That doesn't mean... How do I put this? It doesn't mean it isn't worth asking again.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, for crying out loud, I've been asking you the same questions 3 times now, and most of them, well, most of them do have the same answer. Some of them have changed. I'll just say that right now. Some of them have changed, and it's interesting watching that.
Yeah.
Dalton Bandy asks, who's your favorite artist on DeviantArt?
It's probably just Citra, just because he does stuff that's like hands down incredible. But if you want to go besides that, you probably can go with what's his name? I'm trying to think of the name. Besides just Citra, you can probably go with I'm really pulling up right now. I would say. Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, probably you can maybe go with Mad Max.
CSI Mad Max?
I would probably go with Citra and Equestria. I'd probably go with those 2 guys, I think, just because I like the detail they put in their art.
Who was that? There was a bit of blip when you said his name.
Oh, Equestria Prevails.
Okay. Yeah, I figured, but I just wanted it clarified.
Yeah.
Geo Guardian asks, what is your goal in life?
To do weather stuff. Maybe art as a secondary thing. Weather. Basic answer I can give.
Don't have any more questions as of right now. Oh, scratch that. If you ever got your nails painted, what would they be? Chalk zone.
God, no color. I'm gonna paint my nails just like every color in Rainbow Dash's name.
That might be interesting.
Like
Rainbow Dash, man.
Actually, seriously, when I go to BrewCon, I watch there's someone do it. I will laugh hysterically. I'm not even gonna go to cosplays, but I'm gonna probably hear that someone actually did it.
Yeah, no kidding. Geo Guardian asks, what question would you like to have answered?
I have no clue. I've basically gone through all the questions that I can think of. I don't really know any one that we haven't done.
I think it might be, say, what is the meaning of life, or something along those lines.
True. I have no idea. Favorite color is blue and this.
We've got 20 minutes left, people. So if you have any questions, please ask them.
So I swear someone's gonna finally say, "Hey, get your cat."
We do have a question. Mr. Ben asks, why did you agree to do this interview despite all the problems we've had?
Because I want one damn interview to go through. Or at least to say, hey, I have one interview floating around the internet that I have.
Why not?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that if you had already done that and this flopped, you wouldn't come back?
Oh, I would come back. I'm just saying, like, I want at least one to say, hey, I have at least one interview out there right now.
Fair enough. That is fine. I was just messing with you. Trust me, I've got some stuff, Gio, that I could, if at the worst case, entertain you guys with. But again, the focus is on Tox here. That's the only thing that I hope to and care about. Dalton Bandy asks, who is your favorite band?
AC/DC, I'd probably say. It's one of my favorite bands. Along with Tom Petty, I'd probably say those two are my 2 favorites.
Nice.
Nice. I see another question says, will I try and talk to any of the writers or artists at the con? Maybe. If I know who the heck they are. Because, well, I mean, unless like someone says, like, hey, I'm Toxic Mario. Oh, wait, you are? Because the thing was, so I had what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a big freaking logo shirt, like right over here. And this is like signature TM on it. On the bag, it's going to say Toxic Mario. So as I pass people would say, oh my god, it's Toxic Mario.
Well, I would know who he is.
Yeah, I know.
So that's just me.
What I'll do though is I'm gonna work on that was a $30 t-shirt. It cost me. They're gonna order it by the 20th. I'll have that in. But I'm gonna have another shirt that is gonna have on the front. It's gonna say Swagalicious on it with my swag Twilight, and then on the back it's gonna say Toxic Mario on it, just so that people know who I am.
Nice. Can I ask a quick favor of you?
Okay.
When you get that shirt, can we get pictures?
I actually have a link to the shirt right now.
Ooh. Go ahead and send it. I'll have to take a look at it later, but cool. All right. Thank you.
It's a simple t-shirt. I mean, well, I'm gonna eventually. I gotta edit this Friday-licious one tomorrow night, so I get it in time for BronyCon, because I'm knowing that Thursday it takes these things to come on in. Let me see if I can pull up the t-shirt. And actually, while we're doing it, we can actually get the next questions going.
Okay, yeah, I was going to suggest that. Juloon, again, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Juloon asks, what happened to your dragon pictures?
Oh, I just stopped doing those. Those are old. And I stopped doing those. I didn't really care for doing those anymore. I just ended those. And I was like, I'm done with this. It was a good ride while it lasted. Maybe once the fandom is kind of out of it and the show cancels, I'll go back to Dragon Art. I want to go to Fox Art. I want to go into either Fox or World for Dragon Art. Why not? I'll maybe I'll go to Nintendo Art, but Nintendo's art is very tricky to get into.
Whatever it is, we'll be looking for you. Or I'll be there.
Yeah, that's okay. It'd be cool. We'll see if people follow me over.
Invisibility? I hope that's right. Invisibility asks, what is your favorite video game? Overall.
Favorite video game or Creative Time. That still is a special place in my heart because that was still my favorite video game of all time. I beat it. In 2000, but it was like, hey, that's a great game.
How many times have you beaten it since then? I gotta ask.
How I beat it? I've beaten it twice since then. So I have replayed it. Each time I found ways, oh man, I did this much faster and much quicker than I did in the first file, obviously. And then there's a question that says, hey, did I see the dead mouse running with Fluttershy? Of course I saw it. I saw it, of course you're like...
Yeah, I saw that. Yes. Great.
That would be Gone Panorama OC 1. I only got one picture.
From who?
That was from PAX. Alan PAX gave me one. Well, other than that, I haven't got... the only other fan art that I got from my OC was from Decitra. We're just randomly exchanging art. It was just a random fun thing, and that's it. But, birthday stuff, I didn't get anything on my OC. I didn't get any... I'm very rare that I get gifts on DeviantArt from people. I don't care what it's like. What are you gonna do?
Kind of like me getting a llama badge. Not needed, but it's nice that you do.
Hmm?
And it's tiny. Go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I just know the question's gonna come when they want to say, hey, can't we... Where's your cat? Get the cat. I could get the cat, but I probably will get the cat, but at the very end of this whole thing, I have to bring him up here, though. There's 2 cats, so I'm gonna bring up the fat cat. I'll get the fat cat.
One moderately funny brony asks, if you could say one thing to one of the main 6 ponies, what would you say?
Are you 20% cooler now?
I think we know who you'd be asking that to.
I know. There you go. That's usually the question I would say. But yeah, that's actually a tough question. I really know how to answer that one.
Are you aware of your fame? No, not you. Ask the ponies.
Yeah, actually, that would be a good question. To ask the ponies, like, hey, do you know about the fourth wall? Actually, that'd be a better one. Do you know about the fourth wall? I like that.
Question.
That's chocolate rain.
Yeah, hot chocolate rain. Think Discord went easy on everyone? I think what they're asking is, he chose chocolate milk when he could have chosen hot chocolate. Do you think,
No, because it's chaos. Here's the thing. What is there making sense?
I could think of an infinite amount of reasons, but I'm not going to say it.
True.
It's all good fun. It should have been raining money. Question. What kind of hidden treasures do you think Pinky has hidden away?
Balloons. Money. Party supplies. Yeah. Balloon emergencies.
Allerpax asks, Philly ponies or adult ponies? I think.
Phillies.
How come?
Phillies are they're a lot more fun to draw. They are a lot easier, but they're a lot more fun, and it's untapped potential in the comic world. No one does Philly comics; they're rare, and I'm trying to tap out as much as that potential that I have in those ideas in those Philly comics before season 3 begins.
Get them before others do.
I basically say I'm gonna burn that bridge to the ground. With Philly comics.
Nice. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of potential, not only in the show, but in the in the fandom world, to expand upon that. So you're really smart to do that.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, not many people really do Philly comics. I mean, it's not easy that they do them though. So I'm taking advantage of doing them. So it's like, oh, I know let's do it.
Nice. Allerpax asks, are you good at doing realistic art?
No way. No way. I can't do what other people in this fandom do who do realistic art. I can only really do the show style, and that's it. Maybe with shading, I can do a different style, but no, I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're all getting tired.
Yeah, it's not been an easy week for me, so I apologize.
I was supposed to take a nap today, but I didn't take a nap.
What prevented it?
Huh?
What prevented you from napping?
I'm waking up early today. So I was like, I didn't get much sleep.
Here's Invisibility 3 asks, have you ever fallen asleep in the shower?
No, because the shower wakes me up. I might just take a shower and wake up. Yeah.
If it's cold, it'll really wake you up.
Have you ever tried doing a different style? No. Doing show style is like what I can do best. And if I move to a different style, nah, I don't want to try it because I feel very comfortable doing what I do right now. So I'll let other people come with new styles. I'm going to stick to what I know I can do.
Tex Avery style ponies. It'd be an interesting thing to find.
What is my view on Anthro or humanized ponies? It's very few and far between. Do I like that? Because I'm not exactly a huge fan of that stuff. Because it's usually done just wrong or just poor. That's why it's very few and far between that I like that type of style.
Fair enough. Any other questions?
off live stream night tonight.
Yeah. So, that's the question I was going to ask you. Are you going to be streaming tonight?
I will, but it's be very late because I have done nothing so far on that next comic.
So then, this begs the question. One is asking this question as well as I am. What time will you be starting and ending?
Oh God. If I can. Let's see. If I had dinner in 2 hours, then I have to do the sketches and gala sketches I've never done before. I've never done a gala sketch Twilight, so that could be a nightmare all in itself. I haven't decided how I want to structure the panels too, because I could either do pure headshots and then open it up with a big panel, or if I do it that way, I could probably get streaming at about I would say by 11 p.m.
11 p.m. tonight?
Because technically, since you're right now, so it's like 2 hours I could have been sketching, but it's like I'd rather have done the into, obviously, because it's a lot more fun. And it's like, hey, that's 2 hours right there. I could have probably done a 12-hour sketch, but it's like, just because the later I sketch, the later the live streams have to be. Well, usually, if I take a day off from live streaming, I usually will live stream the next night. Especially if it's on a weekend like tonight, I can afford to stay until 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Daylight Time.
Just to clarify, those times are Eastern Standard Time?
Or Eastern Standard Time. Let's get technical.
Just one's asking. It's a legitimate question.
Yep. So it's how many guns are out? 0. Funny question. Should I send me coffee? No, send me soda. I should do that. Make a soda one.
This one is from Allerpax. Do you know of which countries your viewers are from?
For the most part, because I actually know who comes to now on my live streams usually. Because I know who are the American viewers, just because the European viewers who I get are they come in at a very select time. They usually always come in around 3 o'clock or later my time on my live streams. And they will usually leave if I do an early stream at around 8 p.m. my time. And it's like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock their time. So it's like, I know like they have a limit, so it's like I know who's in, who's out. But there are a few people who do stay up really, really, really late with me. That's all you guys.
That's not me though. I just can't pull that kind of stuff. I do have to ask, what was it I was going to ask you? When we join your channel on live stream, do you, what is required? Do we have to sign up with live stream, or can we join as guests?
I think you can join as guests, because I think you can just automatically sign up and just choose a username and that's it.
Okay. So.
And it's like anybody can join in. It's just very funny because almost all the people in this chat are live streamers of mine. So it's like everybody would know to come on in, usually.
Roadie Chaser asks, have you ever tried a Four Loko?
No. I don't take any drinks, all I do is soda's my game. That's the only way I know how to stay up. That and pound freaking lots of sweet tarts and sugar.
Well, they'll give you the short buzz, I'll tell you that much.
Short buzz. The soda, the thing is up until 3 a.m., the soda doesn't work anymore. I could pound down sodas past 3 a.m., but it won't do anything good. Just adding more sugar.
Kind of like throwing dirt on a fire that's already out.
Someone says, have a live stream earlier. I have live stream earlier. It's just not often I can do that because usually I'm working during the week. So I have done a weekend so that while finishing on a comic, I can say, hey, and it'd be like, hey, I can live stream and in the early in the morning get it done with. But that's not often. I usually won't stream past, unless I'm a big enough comic where I need to do it all day and work in the background. I usually will start around 7 o'clock at night, my time.
Got a question from Bethebo. Hopefully that's right. Will you ever stream a little earlier so I can catch your streams?
Oh, that was a question I just answered, though.
Oh. Sorry about that.
Can I say hi to my boss? My boss isn't going to listen, so you wouldn't really care.
All right, we've got time for about 2 more questions, and then then we'll wrap things up here, folks.
And then I'll show my cat offline.
Question from Allerpax. If someone would note you on DA and ask for help on a drawing, would you help?
Yeah, why not? As long as it's not like open crazy where we have to do everything. But yeah, I could probably give him pointers or something like that. Yeah, sure.
Everyone note talks.
Yeah. I've had that happen. I came back on a live stream once and I got 6 notes. I was like, oh, you're record.
Help me, help me, help me.
No, I'm not kidding.
Mercy me. All right, one more question. There's just one thing I just want to remind you guys about.
So we get the one question in. Because every question's been answered, it feels like so far.
All right. I'm going to cut it off here.
Favorite candies? Nope. Oh, there you go. There's one. Favorite candy and favorite G1 thing. I hate G1 and it's an abomination. And favorite candy is Tic Tacs. There you go. We'll go with those two.
Tic Tacs. All right. The only make that 2. I forgot one. For I just want to state, Brony State has a gaming list. If you want to check it out, I'm not going to post the link in here, but just go to bronystate.net. Check out if you're looking for bronies to game with, like on the 360, on Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii, and the PC as well, and some other stuff. Check them out. And 2, as I said earlier, if you create art and you want it displayed on the show here, just send me an email. That's theobserver6713@yahoo.com. And with that, I just want to say thank you once again, Mr. Toxic Mario, for stopping by. 3 bloody attempts, and we finally get it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being so patient, and please keep doing what you're doing, because I really, really like seeing what you do. It's a lot of fun being subscribed to you, commenting on you, and getting to interview you.
I actually do see your comments, but it's usually sometimes the comments get buried inside like a whole stack of 100. Once it gets past 100, then it's like I just can't comment on that another 100. So it's too much work.
Yeah, you know what most
getting 60 or below after my first 100, it's like I'll reply to those.
I try and make them a little more creative, but come on, you've seen them. Most of them are just boiled down to, I really like your stuff.
Yeah, true. It's kind of what it is.
Well, at least you're understanding with it.
Yeah, sure. Oh, that's fine.
So, with that, folks, thank you for coming. I hope you stop by next week because we've got another interview lined up. I don't know who it is yet, but we're working on it. I just haven't gotten anything. Lined up yet with the people I'm hoping to, and I'm not going to say who it is until I can confirm who it is. So stick tight.
He is really good now.
I want to get to Citra. I want to get to him someday. So let me just put that out there.
You can just ask him and know him. You can probably get a hold of him easily. He's very approachable. It's just it might take him a day or two to get to hold of you, but it's like I would definitely ask him probably ASAP a note to him saying, hey, there you go. Because he actually will do it. I know he'll do it into you, but it's just pick a date and figure out a time with him, say if he's interested, and be like, hey, they want to do it in July or something like that.
Fair enough.
Just because once after BronyCon rolls through, his schedule's going to probably free up a lot.
Okay. June 30th through the 1st is the con, right?
June to the 2nd. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hadn't planned anything in terms of an interview in July and August for personal reasons, but I'll see what I can do, and this can go for anyone, but I digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, like I said, I had planned on Tox. I can guarantee you he'll be on here at some point, and then you can ask all the silly questions to him, and you can do it as you wish to him.
I will. Yeah, I have everything planned out for that.
Why does that always happen? I'm just gonna post this out there for everyone, just for poops and giggles. Whenever I interview someone, I swear there is always another person. There is at least one other person who is always there to try and just make the interviewee look about as silly as can be. It is the only exception to this was Dusty Katz and who's the other one? Professor Edwards. I don't hate it though. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. No, let's push the idea to Citron. You're probably getting a whole reason.
Okay.
One.
Okay. Well,
cool.
Like I said, I'll look into it, and I'll tell you what, I'll keep you in the loop on that as well.
Okay, that's cool. I'll probably hear it from him, but yeah, that'd be cool. Sorry, no.
And with that, I just want to say once again, everyone, thank you for coming. Take care.
Alright, so guys, you want to see my cat? Do you really want to see my cat? I'll put it that way. There we go. Give me 1 second, I'll get my cat. Hang on.